Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today we will be crafting with a ribbon. So I have 4 DIYs for you. This is a lengthy video, so stay tuned and see what I come up with. So we're going to start with craft number 1. So this is one of those large oat containers, and I just took it outside and spray painted it with this gold Rust-Oleum metallic finish paint. I painted the lid and the container on the outside and the bottom. And I'm just going to take this ribbon, which is from Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have it this year. Mine's several years old. The container is actually 16 inches around, and you need to have 8 ribbons. This ribbon is 2 inches wide, and you have to have an even number of ribbons hanging down to do this project. So make sure your ribbons and the space that you have work together. So my ribbon is 2 inches wide. The container is 16 inches around, so I need 8 pieces of ribbon. If you like what you see on my channel, I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. And if you know others that might like my content, please feel free to share my videos. And here I am just hot gluing the end of the ribbon and putting it down on the inside of the container. So it's glued down on the inside. So you want your ribbon to be a little bit longer than your container on both ends, and you do not overlap these at all. You glue them on side by side. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it if you would. I love to have new friends. I read all your comments, and I also reply in return. Now I'm taking some more Dollar Tree ribbon. Now this is ribbon I got earlier this year, was not during Christmas. In fact, I think it was, I don't know, during the summer or something like that. So it really doesn't matter how wide the ribbon is that goes horizontal around your project. So, and this is wired ribbon. The other ribbon is not wired ribbon, but it doesn't need to be wired ribbon. It's just what I had and what I wanted to use. So this ribbon actually has a lot more on it than the normal Dollar Tree ribbon, and it was in the $3 section. And I think it was probably after Valentine's Day or something when I got these. I got a red spool and this tan spool. I don't know if it was supposed to be after Christmas and they got it around Valentine's. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was surprised to see it, so of course I had to buy one of each. So when you put this on, you want to start going under your the first piece that you put on. You want to start it going underneath the ribbon that's going vertically. And then you go under, over, under, over, under, over until you get all the way back to where you started. And then you're just going to glue the end on top of the piece that you glued down to start out with. And then for the next one, you go to another piece, another ribbon, vertical ribbon. Not the one that you started with last time. You want to use one beside it and then do your under, over, under, over. So you're just weaving it in and out. And if you watched my previous previous video, I did this on a jar, and it turned out really great. But this video is all about the ribbon. I have a lot of ribbon, and I wanted to show you some ways that you can use ribbon in your projects. And I spray painted the oat container because it had designs on it, and I didn't rip it off or anything like that. I just spray painted over top of the designs. And here it is where I have added all the horizontal ribbons. And now you want to clean up the bottom, so I'm just trimming those vertical pieces of ribbon and then gluing them down around the bottom. So I'll just be using this as like a gift in a under my tree or sitting out or whatever. But you can also put stuff inside of it too. You can take the lid off, put something in it, and you can actually use it as a gift box. So if you have something that is particularly hard to wrap with wrapping paper, and you don't want to use a bag or something, you can put it in this and just give it to the person. And here we are trimming up the last one. And see, that looks good. You don't have to do anything else to the bottom. And the lid still fits on the top. But you want to make sure you get those edges of the ribbon underneath it, the horizontal ribbons. And now we're going to decorate the top of it. So I made this bow, and yeah, I'm not the best at making bows, so if you want to make one something like this, you probably want to Google it and get it from somebody else. I tried to make the bow like some other people did, but mine just didn't turn out good, so I just kind of did my own thing with it. So yeah, you might want to Google bows and have somebody else show you how to do that. I mean, my bow turned out okay, but I can't show you how to make bows. So I just have this little piece of pine cone. It's just the top of a plastic pine cone that has tons of glitter on it. It was from the Dollar Tree years ago. And these red pieces are just like that too. So I'm just gluing these on underneath the bow, just to spruce it up a little bit. Lots of red on that and lots of glitter. And I have this green piece here, pine green. I'm just going to cut it in half. And then once I get it cut in half, I am going to fold it in half. And then I'll glue it underneath my bow. I have my grandma shirt on, by the way. It says, my name is Grandma and spoiling is my game, or something like that. Grandma is my name and spoiling is my game. My favorite shirt. So I just have some of these little white berries. This is from a pick from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put some on either side of the pine cone. Had to stand up so I could see the top of the canister a little better. And, you know, you can do this with the smaller canisters of the oats, too. You don't need to do it just with the big ones. And I like how the weaving of the ribbons looks on this particular piece. I think the smaller canisters would look probably even better. We just didn't have any. So I was just using what I had. I made no-bake cookies and emptied the container out. And I was like, yeah, I can use this for crafting. There it is. So that is our craft number 1. There it is, sitting on my dresser. And now on to craft number 2. So for this one here, we have an 11 by 14 flat canvas from the Dollar Tree. This ribbon also came from the Dollar Tree. And that's the other red ribbon I was telling you about that's just like the tan ribbon. So you have 14 inches going across, and we're going to do this crosswise. And the ribbon that I'm putting on is 2 inches wide. So you're going to need 7 pieces. So you have to make sure that your the width of your ribbon divides into the width of whatever you're putting it on evenly. If it doesn't, then you either need to cut your ribbon or find a bigger ribbon or find the right size ribbon, because it must divide evenly in order to work out correctly. So I cut my 7 pieces of ribbon. I'm letting it overlap the top there a little bit and hang a little bit over the bottom. And again, you want to glue these side by side. You do not want them to overlap. Now I had a little bit of space between there, so I took that one off and put it back on. And now we're going to start the weaving. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the side there. And I at first put the ribbon even with the edge, which you could do, but then I decided to overlap it. So I'm just overlapping it a little bit. Probably anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 of an inch. So you start with the underneath one first. So under, over, under, over. I think this turns out so cute. Now you could make the edges of the ribbon go even with the edges of the canvas, because we are putting this in a frame, and that would work. So for this one, we have to start with our red ribbon on top. So I'm just holding the red ribbon down right now. I haven't glued it down yet. Gonna flip it over and glue it to the back. I know you can't really see me doing that, but just folding it over and gluing it to the back. And I'll do the same thing to this edge. And I'll just go ahead and glue both of those down. And there we have our second row, all complete. And you just keep alternating your rows. So you're just doing the same thing over and over until you get to the bottom. And I now have, you can buy me a coffee link. I'll put it in the description box. So if you want to support me that way, feel free to do so. I will use that money to buy craft supplies so I can bring you more videos. I will also put links to some of the products that I use, like this glue gun that you see me using here, the pink with the purple. It's a cordless glue gun. I use it when I can. You have to charge it, and sometimes I forget to do that. So I have to use other glue guns when that happens. I also have a little Ladybug vacuum that I like to use, and the finger sander. There are beads that I've gotten from Amazon that I like, regular beads and then the half beads. So anyway, I have all those linked in the description box if you're interested in any of those. I think this is turning out pretty nice. Do you have a large ribbon collection, or is it just me? Every time I see a new ribbon and I like it, I'm like, oh, I gotta get it. And then I just add it to my collection. I mean, I have like, oh my goodness, 4 different drawers full of ribbon. So these projects here just help me use up a little bit of my ribbon collection. And now I'm just going to glue down the top and the bottom of the ribbons. These are the ones that are the vertical ribbons, the ones that have the joy on it. I'm just wrapping it around and gluing them to the back of the canvas. ribbon shedding a little bit. It is burlap. It's kind of a burlap ribbon. I really like it. Again, if you like these projects, please give me a thumbs up, as it helps YouTube know that people like my videos, and they'll put them out there for more people to see. Now this end here is a little bit different because you have some of the red ribbon that's a little longer also. So I'm gluing down the burlap ribbon first. And you can see that piece of red right there. But you go ahead with the next piece of burlap and glue it down. And then you can go back to the red and get that edge. And then just glue it down. And just keep going like that until you've got all the edges glued down. Just using my little makeup tool there to rub the ribbon onto the canvas so it'll get stuck in the glue. Got a little edge that came up. Just going to tack that down. And then get that last little bit of red ribbon down, and we're complete with all of that. I'm just going to put it in the frame. And this is just a frame that I've had for a while. I probably got it from Walmart or something. I think it was $3. So it holds the 11 by 14 canvas perfectly. And it just has those staples in there that you push down to hold it in. I have this little stocking that I got from Walmart last year after Christmas, and it says Joy on the front of it, so I'm just gonna glue it, hot glue it to my canvas here. Isn't it cute? I got like 3 different ones the same size. So there's a little Christmas greenery there, and then that's for the stocking. And I'm just going to spread my little balls out. They have like frosting on them, or to look like ice, I guess. And speaking of ice, we had some hail yesterday. Today is... I'm doing the voiceover on Tuesday, so the 25th, I think it is. 24th or 25th, I'm not sure, of October. Anyway, we got hail last night, and oh my gosh, it put holes in our window screens. Unbelievable. I mean, that's craziness. And then I got this pick from the Dollar Tree, and actually I guess it's not really a pick, it's one of those that you put in a diffuser. So it's over by the candles and stuff in the Dollar Tree. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on my greeneries and my diffuser pieces and all like that, so that when I hang this on the wall, they're not going to flop over or fall out. And the red pick was from Michael's, and I bought it online last year. here I am adding the glue. This piece was also in a diffuser, this little flower. I think these pieces are really cute. Good to use in craft projects, I think. Why use it in a diffuser when you can use it in a craft project, right? And these little pieces of greenery I got from Hobby Lobby. They actually were on an Easter frame with a bunny on it, and I took it all apart, and I think it also had a wreath on it, and the greenery was on a wreath. So I took it all apart, but of course I kept the greenery pieces. I think I used the wreath in something else, and I'm just going to glue those down in there. And this one I'm going to cut a piece of it off and just use a piece of it, because if I'd used the whole thing, it would have covered up the flower, and I didn't want that. Didn't want it covered up. I wanted to be able to see it. So just added a little bit of hot glue there, and that's it. Joy and my woven ribbon. I love it. And there it is, hanging on my wall. I don't know, is it too busy? Well, on to craft number 3. So for this one here, we have the Christmas tree, the wood Christmas tree cut out from the Dollar Tree. And most of the ribbons that I'm using for this one are from the Dollar Tree. So basically it's the same thing. You're just gluing your ribbon onto the side of your tree, making sure it's long enough. And then you'll start weaving the other ribbons in and out, going the other direction. It was a little more difficult because it's not just I don't know how to say it. The shape is cut out in different, anyway, it's the shape of a tree. And so it's harder to mess with than if you had a single shape item. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, you'll see. It's a little bit more difficult. Now that other piece that I just put on is not right. And I see that now. And I have to take it off and put a longer piece on. And then when I do that, watch here. Liz don't learn. Watch what she does. Look at that. She cut it too short. Unbelievable. Well, you know what they say. Third time's a charm. So I get it right the third time. So this ribbon has little plaid, red and black plaid Christmas trees on it. I thought it was perfect for this project. Too bad I didn't have enough to do the whole tree. But I think it turns out pretty good. And make sure your ribbons are side by side and they're not overlapping each other. And I did not measure this one at all. I figured that I would just cut off edges if I needed to. So I'm not worried about the size of my ribbon or the length of my piece. There, I thought I had a lot more of that ribbon left, but I didn't. But you'll see, we improvise. Use what you got. And you'll see I'm using a different hot glue gun because my other one, I guess I didn't charge it enough or something. And yeah, I had to recharge it. So I had to use my, the one that has the cord to it. And boy, you get used to the ones without the cord. And the ones with the cords are like harder to use because you'll see it gets wound up in my ribbons and whew. So here's where I switched to a different ribbon because I ran out of the other. And this ribbon, I'm not sure where it came from. I've had it for years and years. So it has a blue background and it has green Christmas or green trees on it. So we're just going to use that for the very top of the tree. Now that we have all of the ribbon on going in that direction, then we would turn the tree around and start adding our ribbon in the other direction. Now this ribbon again is from the Dollar Tree and it is the black and red gingham. And we're going to start going underneath the first vertical ribbon. And now because it's the tree, you can see you can't really get it underneath that next ribbon that we need to put it underneath. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it off and just glue it on top of that second ribbon. So I was just kind of winging this. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, so that's why you see me hesitate. And I thought I could still get a little bit underneath there, and then I'm like, and I'm trying to fold it, and then I'm like, you know, that's not going to work either. So what I opt to do is just cut it to the width of the ribbon that it's on top of, and then we'll just glue it down. All the other shapes that I've woven ribbon on have been a simple design, not like a tree design or something. I don't know how to say it. So when I go to put this piece of ribbon on top, I'm just lining up the edge with the bottom of the ribbon that's on there and then gluing it on top of the ribbon. And then again, we're going to go with the weaving over, under, and it'll only go over 3. You can only put it over under 3 of the vertical ribbon. So we'll cut that off and glue it down. So like I said, it is more difficult, but it can be done. And I think if I had enough of that white ribbon with the red and black trees on it, and then the red and black gingham ribbon here, I think this project would have looked a lot better. But I ran out, so I just used what I had on hand. So I see that I probably need to unglue or take loose this ribbon and move it down just a little bit. So I'm just re-gluing it. And then once I do that, it fits better underneath that ribbon that I currently have it under. I would suggest not to use a Christmas tree shape if this is your first time weaving with ribbons. Just get like a square or a rectangle or something like that. Now I have to get that second, well, you'll see me doing it right here. So I lift up one of the vertical ribbons and slip this ribbon underneath it. And then I have to do the same to the third ribbon there. Or the next one that it goes underneath. So pull that up, put my ribbon in it, cut it, and then glue it down. And there we go. So I'm going to speed this up 2 times, I think it is, so you don't have to sit through it as long as you would if it was just normal. Now we're going under the blue parts, the blue ribbons. We're just doing the same thing, over, under, over, under. So now I switch to this polka dotted ribbon. Again, it's from Dollar Tree. This really isn't that hard, it's just time consuming. So if you have a lot of ribbon and you have a lot of time, this was a perfect project for you. And I feel like I need to pull this up and move it down a little bit. So I'm working it. This glue stuck pretty good. So I got it. And now I decide that I need to start at the top end of the Christmas tree and do the weaving going from the top to the bottom instead of the bottom to the top. I think it'll work out better. And I think it really did work out better. So I'm just taking little pieces of ribbon and catching these ends. Again, you just continue with your weaving over, under, or under, over, whichever way. I might have to do this with a one of those big ornament cutouts, little wood pieces from the Dollar Tree, and see how that turns out. It would probably be easier than the Christmas tree, I would think. So we're almost to the end. I think we just have one more piece to put on. And now we're going to turn the tree over and then just trim up the edges. So I'm just using my scissors, just cutting along the ribbon, any ribbon that's hanging over the edge of my wood piece here, just cutting that off. And now I have this trim that I got from Hobby Lobby last year after Christmas, and I'm just going to glue it all along the edges. I'm going to start at the top and go all the way around the tree. I probably paid about 39 cents for it because I think it was originally $3.99, and I got it when it was 90% off. So make sure that you go to your Hobby Lobbies after the seasons are over, when they mark everything down to 90% off. That's when I stock up. So I'm not going around the stump of the tree, I'm just going around the tree itself. And now I have this macrame tree that I made, and I'm just going to glue it to this tree. And I'm not going to be telling you how to make that. You can Google it, and there are people out there that can show you how to make these macrame trees. So I just have a wire star at the top that I made out of some wire, and I'm adding my jute twine hanger to it. And that's how I'm going to hang it on my wall. And there's our craft number 3 with ribbon. And there it is, hanging on my wall. I think it turned out pretty good. And now on to craft number 4, so our last craft of the day. So I have this a slatted piece of wood. I got it with another piece of wood. I guess it was a, I'm not even sure what it was, but it was a set or something at a thrift store. And I have this ribbon that's two-sided. I probably got it, I want to say maybe Hobby Lobby, but it was like years and years ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my ribbons, one for each slat. And I'm using the stripe side of the ribbon to cut it because I thought it would be easier to figure out where exactly to cut it than using the other side. But I will be alternating the ribbon. So the green side, the stripe side, the green side, the stripe side, and so on. So after I get these cut, I'm going to use my wood glue to add these on. I did try hot glue to start out with, but that did not work. So I'm using my wood glue from the Dollar Tree. And this ribbon has purple and pink and green in it. So I thought this would be, you know, kind of away from the red and the green Christmas colors. I have these bulbs here that I've had for years, and as you can tell, I'm just using crafts pieces that I have in my stash, and I'm just taking two of them and tying them on to this, they call it raffia. I got it from Dollar Tree last year, I think it was. So I'm just doing 2 each on each string, and we're going to be using those. And these are glass, which I didn't realize. I thought they were plastic. And then I have this wood ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree, and this vinyl from Oracle. And I will put the link to the vinyl in the description box. And I'm just adding it to the front of my wood piece there. And I'm taking my finger sander and sanding the edges off. And it does a really good job of doing that. I really like the finger sander. And if you don't have one, I mean, I waited a good long while before I got one, but I'm glad I got one. I really like it. So there's the green vinyl, and now I'm going to use a piece of this gold glitter vinyl from the Dollar Tree. So that's going to be my ornament topper. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Then I'm going to fold it in half and do like a scalloped edge on it, like you see for the tops on the ornaments. And there I have it. I have the backing off, and I'm just putting it on the top of my ornament there. And then I'm going to use my finger sander and get the remainder of that vinyl off. And I did cut out some vinyl on my Cricut. It says Merry Christmas with a cross, and I just thought that was very appropriate because Christmas is supposed to be all about Jesus. There it is. Didn't that turn out great? And so I'm gonna use some more of the wood glue to glue this wood ornament onto our piece here. And I really like this wood glue. I mean, seriously, it's in a nice size bottle, easy to use, and that's the wood glue I use on my craft projects, is the stuff from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm just going to take those ornaments that I've strung together, and I am going to tie them to this piece, just in different places, wherever I think they will look good. Now I do go back and hot glue those knots onto the back of this piece here, so they stay in place. There they are. There's two of them on there. Gonna add the rest. Just trying to figure out where I want them. Just tying a double knot and cutting off the ends. And there I have them all on there. Now, here I am hot gluing the knots down. Now I use some of this raffia here for my hanger, and I'm telling you, do as I say and not as I do, because when I went back, I hung this on the wall, and when I went back this morning, I went over there and it was in the floor. One of my bulbs was busted. That's how I knew they were glass. And just use jute for your hanger. That's all I'm saying. So there it is, hanging on the wall. I think it turned out great. I really like it. So let me know, which one of these do you like best? Mine is the Joy Stocking and the Merry Christmas. I like both of those. So again, I am Liz with Liz's Crafts, and I also have a Facebook group too, if you haven't checked it out, and it is called Liz's Crafts. But if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so, and I love you all. Thank you so much.